Welcome to Bio Media. Today we've got a warning from Apostle Chiwenga about a flyer that's been circulated from an evangelist calling himself Evangelist Chivhaka,
A need
and he's
for us
purporting to be having a debate with Apostle
to
Chiwenga
consider
today.
and to always be
Welcome
aware
and
of
enjoy
what is
the
happening
video.
in our environment. There's a flyer that I want to talk to you about. I want us to look at that flyer and see the information there. We are not really responding to this flyer because we are offended or that we think that the church is at risk or the church is being attacked. No, we are not responding because this gentleman who calls himself Evangelist Chivhaka II, we don't see him as someone that we should really talk about. But then we have come across this flyer, and I think some of you have seen it. And maybe you were going to visit this man's YouTube or Facebook, whatever social media he uses to practice his religion. You were going to attend to this man because he wrote on this flyer that he is going to be debating with Apostle Chiwenga on the subject of the law. Evangelist Chivhaka II versus Apostle T.F. Chiwenga. The subject was the law abolished? If this man was a journalist, like other journalists that we see on social media, we would not have responded to him. He would not. Journalists are usually very, very relevant professionals in our society. Some may not understand the value of journalism, but journalism is very important because it communicates to everyone things that are pertinent and things that are obtaining in their communities. If you are in Harare, you don't know what happens in Mtare. We need journalists to communicate to the whole nation what happens in Mtare. Those who are in Mutoko may not know you. They don't know your number. They don't know how to tell you the things that are affecting them. And those things that are affecting people in Mutoko may affect people in Bulawayo. Number one, because generally, if it is affecting people, every person should be concerned. Number two, you may have relatives in Mutoko, and you don't know that people in Mutoko have been attacked by vicious animals that have broken loose from the conservatory, whatever they are using, or the sanctuary they are using to keep them. So journalists are important, but we also have ethical challenges with the journalists, most of them, not all of them, of course, where they prioritize having followers, subscribers, and people to watch their content, to read their content, and then they are so desperate to get people following their articles to the extent that the manner of their reportage becomes unethical, unprofessional, and violative of other people's personalities, images, people's integrity sometimes. Sometimes people's rights are also violated by these journalists. There is a false reporting, malicious reporting, a lot of other problems associated with how journalists conduct their business. But they are journalists, and we understand that. We understand that for most of the time they are looking for money. And journalists are not practicing journalism because they want to serve God. Some journalists, they want to save their communities, their country. Sometimes they want to just find a way of life. They are trying to earn a living. So we cannot expect them to practice the principles of godliness in how they execute their journalism work. But when we see someone calling himself a man of God, or somebody who calls himself a child of God, the bar becomes higher, the expectations become higher. We want to see those who claim to be men of God doing things in a manner that shows, even though they are lost, but we must see a certain level of integrity in them. So looking back at that flyer by this so-called Evangelist Chivhaka II, this flyer is misinforming, because by saying Sunday the 10th of July 2022 at 10 a.m., he is going to be debating or fighting or engaging with Apostle Chiwenga on the subject of the law without, number one, talking to us about it.
Yes.
We don't even know him. When I saw this flyer, that was the first time I knew that such a person exists. I've never heard his name before. He has never spoken to Pastor Baloyi asking for our involvement in whatever he's doing. As a church man, this is very, very pathetic, very, very demeaning on his part.
Yes.
If he had said, Evangelist Chivhaka criticizes Apostle Chiwenga's message, then that was a different subject. He can criticize me.
Yes.
He is very, very much allowed to do so. And we don't find offense in that. We have been criticized for a long time. Sometimes we respond, sometimes we don't. For the most part of it, we don't respond when we see that arguments or debates are being conducted in an insincere way, with an approach that seeks to ignite an unnecessary battle, an unnecessary fight, which is not objective. We don't engage. We engage when we see someone with a doctrinal position. If you want to fight Chiwenga, but if you don't have a doctrinal position, Chiwenga cannot engage you. Chiwenga is a doctrinal person. So we only respond when people bring up doctrinal issues. And when we feel that they've raised sufficient doctrinal arguments that warrant our response. But this guy is lying to the people that today at 10 a.m. we are going to be engaging with him. Even though he has not written that he is going to be meeting with me or debating with me. But the structure of this flyer is clear. Evangelist Chivhaka versus Chiwenga on Sunday, 10 July 2022. Everyone is going to think that we are going to be engaging with him. He has never spoken to us. He has never said that he wants to debate with us. We did a dare where we invited people.
Yes.
We never saw his emails asking to come. So there is no one who can argue with us about the law and come up with an argument that holds water, that we can practice the law today. No one. We can engage anyone at any time, anywhere in the world. We have never shied away from such very, very important aspects of the gospel. But it's very misleading on his part to come up with such a lie and do a church service using my name. Obviously, is like a tick or a lice that he wants to be prominent by using my name. If he had removed my name and my image, obviously he was not going to get as much people as he's going to get.
Yes.
People are going to watch his content because people are going to think that I am going to be involved, but I am not involved. If he was a journalist, we would understand that they are looking for money.
Yes.
But for someone who calls himself an evangelist to do this, it's very, very disturbing. So it doesn't matter whatever idea he has. His method is very, very unethical. His conduct is undignified. It's too desperate for attention and is using my name to get attention. This is not the behavior of a man of God. We have never done what he is doing. We have sat down and we have exposed so many charlatans. We have used their content, their images, their videos, their speeches, their sermons, and their utterances. But we have never generated a video or a flyer where we said to the people, we are going to debate with Emmanuel Makandiwa without having a conversation with Emmanuel Makandiwa.
Yes.
We don't do that. You see. So this is a very desperate act, and I just want believers to not be swayed when they see such things. We will never do things like this without telling our people. We run a very big church with so many believers all over the world, and there is no way we can engage with such things incognito without announcing it to you. And you are going to see a lot of these things. A lot of people are going to use my name. I think those who go onto social media platforms, you can see there's so many content with my image, so many headlines, so many titles, so many captions that try to sensationalize, to inflame the people and my name and our ministry and our work, so that they can have people watching their content. And there are so many people who are raising families by writing on my name. It's unfortunate that you can actually think that money is so important that you can go around riding on somebody's hard work to make a living. If you do not use my name, you are not going to have enough followers. So many people are doing that. That is not right. There are a few journalists that do not do what these guys are doing. They just want to inform the public of what we are doing. But some of them, they write very, very inconsistent titles and headlines to their content. They say, Apostle Chiwenga said this, but if you watch what I said and what they said was the title of their video, there is no relationship. They are sensationalizing what we are doing. They are inflaming what we are doing to get followers and subscribers and likes and money at the end. Most of those YouTube channels are monetized. They get money. The more the subscribers they get, the more money they get. The more followers and likes they get, the more money they get. We don't get money from YouTube. We don't get money from Facebook. We have not monetized any social media account that we are using. Our content is absolutely free of charge. We don't get income from what we do. We have received so many adverts from SoundCloud asking us to monetize our SoundCloud account because we have so many viewership and listenership on SoundCloud. We have not done that. It's not because we don't want money, but we are principled. We have a certain way of doing things. We don't behave like everyone. There are boundaries to what we do. The gospel is not for sale.
Yes.
So be cautioned and be advised, believers, beware of vouchers. Now, coming to Ziklag sound advice 8. I don't know exactly what the Lord wants us to learn, but I'm sure that He wants us to start by reading the book of 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Verse 14, now we exhort you, brethren, warn them that are unruly, comfort the feeble-minded, support the weak, be patient toward all men. So I just want you to have a short tete-a-tete with believers over what I said on the flyer that we just shared with you. When we come back, we are going to go straight into Ziklag Sound Advice 8. Thank you.